Good morning. Welcome to Raaonline. Today we will see a bit longer topic, mitral regurgitation. So I have divided this topic into two parts. So today we will see primary mitral regurgitation. The next class will be seeing secondary mitral regurgitation. So mitral valve apparatus, unlike the aortic valve, which is a very simpler structure and easily replaceable, mitral valve is an apparatus. It has multiple parts. So what are the parts of mitral valve apparatus? It has two leaflets, the anterior and the posterior mitral leaflets, which have three scallops each. So starting from the lateral side, A1, A2, A3, lateral, mid, medial scallops of the anterior leaflet. Posterior leaflet has three scallops, lateral, mid and medial, P1, P2 and P3. And this scallops of the leaflet are surrounded by an annulus. It's a rim of tissue called the annulus. So this annulus has both atrial, left atrial and left ventricular attachment. So the annulus with this left atrial and left ventricular attachment. Then these are fixed to the papillary muscles through a thin tendon-like structure called cardae tendineae. So these are all fibrous tissue. Cardae tendineae again are divided into primary, secondary and tertiary. So you can see this is primary cardae which are attached from the rim of the annulus to the papillary muscle. Secondary is from the mid portion of the leaflet to the papillary muscle, and tertiary is from the base of the leaflet to the papillary muscle. So there are almost 120 cardae tendineae in addition in total, primary, secondary and tertiary cardae, which are the supporting structures, anchors to the mitral leaflet. And there are two papillary muscles, ALPM and PMPM. So there is a posterior-medial papillary muscle and the anterolateral papillary muscle, which should be symmetrically placed at the apex of the LV for a coordinated function of the papillary muscle, cardae and the leaflets with no coaptation gap. So the synchrony of all of this along with the ventricular symmetry and a septal synchrony with the ventricular contraction all are required to prevent a coaptation gap, which will result in, if there is a coaptation gap, it results in any degree of mitral regurgitation. So the difference between the posterior-medial and the anterolateral papillary muscle, it is very important for the pathology of mitral regurgitation in myocardial infarction. So mitral regurgitation is common in inferior wall MI than anterior wall MI because the posterior medial papillary muscle P has a single blood supply by the PDA. So the branch PDA artery, posterior descending artery, can be a branch of the right RCA if right is dominant, or it can be a branch of LCX if left is dominant, but it has a sole blood supply. PDA is the only supplying artery, while the anterolateral papillary muscle has dual blood supply from LAD and LCX. So if there is a RCA infarct, so infarct in the area of the inferior or the inferolateral, also called as posterior wall, so this papillary muscle becomes dysynchronous. If the area of this ventricle is scarred, then there is no synchrony between two papillary muscles. So this can result in either papillary muscle dysfunction or caudal rupture and results in asymmetric mitral regurgitation, which is an eccentric jet. So this is the importance of papillary muscle in creating mitral regurgitation in a right RCA, right territory myocardial infarction.